Welcome back to Band of Blades. We are at Fort Callisto, and in the aftermath of epic takedown of a broken last time. So it can only go one way from here, and that's downwards. And with me, I have some good friends that will I guess execute that downfall. We'll see. We'll go around the table and introduce yourself first. I am Mikael. My pronouns are they them. This is my channel. I am the GM, which is I guess the first time I said that on stream. I think maybe, but I guess people understood that by now because that's yeah. I kill brokens or at least let them die, and someone else kills them. I guess. So I'm looking forward to more having the players put more crazy ideas in front of me. So I have to reel around and figure out in 2 minutes if I can kill this epic baddie in this scene or not, which I got to do last time thanks to my great players. So first, Matthias, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm Matthias, him. And I guess there's going to be celebrations as we're being accepted into Fort Callisto, and that's what I'm looking forward to. And maybe, well, we'll see what kind of scenes we get today. I'm curious. Yeah, I'll just throw it over to Jim.
Hey, I am Jim Crocker. Folks that know me from outside of the stream, I play a whole lot on the Gauntlet, run and play games there. I've got some YouTube videos up of stuff I've run and played in. I played in this whole campaign. I'm having a fantastic time doing it. If you want to find me online, I'm on Twitter at JimLikesGames. And I've got a website, jimlikesgames.com. I sell role-playing games like you see over my shoulders here. I'm in my office for this game at conventions all up and down the East Coast. In a couple of weeks, I'll be at Dreamation in Morristown, New Jersey, and then after that at PAX East in Boston. And in much the way that this game is going to be downhill from here, my entire gaming life, I feel, is just downhill because I made the single most clutch die roll of my entire gaming career last week. And I don't know what I'm going to be able to top that with after that. So we'll see how the, how it the drop, whatever the con drop, of having an amazing moment in a game like that, and then knowing that the rest of it is going to be this terrible, horrible grind where we may all end up dead. But we did have that moment, so I'm going to cling to that as we go forward. Joelle.
Hi, I'm Joelle Van Dyne. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm the world's best grandma. Also, my role in killing Broken is to be the sturdiest gun stand you ever did see. That's not it.
Yeah, it's a central role, though, I have to say. My favorite character from Mad Max, where that inspiration was maybe a little bit from, at least in my mind, it was very vivid, is my favorite character, Furiosa.
Oh no, she was the Furiosa to my Max for sure, no doubt about it. Yeah, oh yeah.
Also, thank you for highlighting that. I've been reflecting a little bit on that scene actually in the last week. It's an interesting kind of balance between where you as a GM for a GM moment for me actually, because it's this is a thing that might not be something that was meant to be possible, but then the fiction just aligned for it to seem likely, and then it just okay, you have this decision now you're going to do with this or that. And it's cool that you also say that this was a cool moment for you, because as a GM, it's also always a little bit, is it the right thing to do or not?
It's we all know that doesn't end the threat. That's not, we're still in deep trouble. But I went back and read that chapter, and it was okay, this could happen. if it all lines up, if, and like basically the thing that I was looking at was like, you can't just put a bullet into them. They've got to be like worn down. You got to bust their armor up and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, after a great big knockdown drag out fight with our chosen, that actually might make them vulnerable enough that we could, maybe actually, at great cost, then actually have an effect. And I really thought, I just was thrilled with the way that all worked out.
It also wasn't any kind of bullet, right? So.
Oh yeah. It's like I said, at cost. That took a trauma. Yeah. Basically, that like I used one of my advances to fire that bullet because I used one to get the extra trauma so that shot didn't kill me, or at least the cadre. So yeah, that was it all. I just kind of loved how it all rattled out, and it could have just as easily, showed up as a one, and we would have been, horrified. But that was just one of those moments where it was entirely about putting, the what happened after that just right in the hands of the dice and letting fate decide how it went. So it was just a great moment.
Yeah, and I also think it highlights a little bit what's good about Forge in the Dark systems, actually, because it it kind of mechanizes the possibility of that happening. So we started on 0 effect, and then you had the bullet, and then you fictionally positioned yourself in a way that made it impossible for me to say, no, this is not possible. Which I really love about this system. That's actually like a very a good thing about Forge in the Dark things in general. It's a very good way of showing player skill in somehow. You saw that opportunity for you to fictionally position yourself, and you surprised me as a GM kind of doing that, and thus it was possible to happen, I guess, in some way.
Yeah. It doesn't feel arbitrary at that point anymore, right? It doesn't feel like the GM was just like, oh yeah, being nice and giving it to us. It's like earned. And earned through like back and forth fiction creation, not just like rules lawyering or something like that. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I just wanted to highlight that because that was I thought like a very interesting point in our story, both fictionally and also from game mechanics wise. But now we are back at in our story, and I kind of I think I want to like frame a little bit how this looks. Like this is pretty immediate after last session where we saw the last thing we saw, I guess, was the cadre kind of like falling down in Val's arms, unconscious a little bit, right?
Oh yeah, and I mean, and I think not just unconscious, but like, basically like I said, just kind of falling away into like a red void, in his mind as the, once the hammer hits the charge on that bullet, then it's just, he just has a kind of a, I don't know what I imagine to be like a Lovecraft dream, I don't think I think when he's brought, whenever somebody snaps him out of it, he has not been like unconscious, but somewhere, very unpleasant. That's one of those like, whatever, they put the smelling salts under his nose, and I suspect he just like, sits bolt upright, like screaming, not sure where he is, and everybody's got to calm him down and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. And I think probably you see like more forces coming onto the battlefield as it's discovered what's actually going on here, because that was a ambush you did to do this. And so you see like the door close, I guess, and then the camera pan up to like the fortifications of the fortress, and you see like the battlefield, or the front siege, understanding what's going on, and people moving about, and actually kind of seeing how many undead that were there that you didn't need to face because you had this element of surprise, and I guess also luck. Rolling the good engagement roll in the fiction here, that could have been a lot worse. And I think I'm gonna also have a look at the lore keeper here. I think you see like the people being completely like cheerful coming in. I think I want to like have you go around the table and describe like how you're greeted. Let you have this moment a little bit. You want to start, Jim?
Yeah, like I think that so this is like when like back at camp, or when we get into the fort, you mean?
Immediately when you come in.
Like
people are seen from the wall, someone screams from the wall, "Render is down, they shot him."
Oh, like I think it's one of those moments where like a ragged cheer goes up, but then everybody's got to keep fighting. Right? And I think that like I can't imagine that anybody actually saw the cadre take the shot. Because everyone was watching, and like this may even be why were able to like catch Render like not paying attention, is because there's that collapsing siege tower. There's no way anybody's going to be able to look away from that as it's in flames and coming down and all that kind of stuff and everything. And like one of the reasons we could hop off our horse and take that shot is that was like the great big flaming center of attention, right? And so I think it takes a moment to like even register, because there's this melee and everything and whatever. And, you know, maybe the horned one like has to rear back because she's got his caustic blood on her or whatever mixed with, you know, whatever crimson, like whatever comes out of that shell when it hits him. And I think it takes a moment, and there's like, and I think no one quite believes it, like right at the moment. And that it's going to take a little while for that to actually be confirmed, like that it wasn't like the horn one that took him down, that he didn't just like whatever use some magic to disappear or something like that. I don't think anyone quite believes it like initially is how that starts.
Yeah, I think probably what happens is that you first hear like the tower is exploding, and then you hear someone what's happening to Render? He's shot, he's going down. And then this is like as you come into like this back door, and I think probably like you see it's pretty crowded. Like you try to get the whole legion like in this small back door, and probably people are stumbling upon each other, and it's too crowded here. Like you're almost like walking over people and like having to shove them away.
Val is totally just carrying the cadre.
How are people like reacting to that? As
the cadre probably weighs less than her shield does.
Probably,
so, yeah.
How are people reacting like inside under the battlements, Matthias, as you are coming in like to this news? Are they how does it look?
I think it's disbelief. Because I think there's also this strange thing. I mean, right? It's an army of undead.
I kind of love the idea that fictionally everyone is like, "Can you even kill a broken? Like, is that possible? How does that work?" Like, yeah,
yeah, but also because, right? If you're fighting a human enemy and you take down their general, that is something that you can palpably feel on the battlefield in the enemy, but you can't feel that with undead. Like, it's not a necromancer situation that we've got going on where they all drop. They just probably keep doing the last command they received. So so it's a strange situation where you can't even like, even if you believe it, even if you saw it, and you've got proper reports coming back from multiple sources that they saw Render go down, like, we can't relax our stance here. We can't like be filled with enthusiasm, because at least not yet, right? Because still we need to get the the Legion inside, but it's definitely probably maybe it is the a thing that maybe the commander or whoever gives orders on the battlements, that they are like that's when they say, okay, now it's now or never, and that's when they actually have like those few last riders of cavalry that they still kept for like a suicide mission or a last stand. That's when they open the gates, and maybe that closes the whole situation that the Legion can get inside. Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine like it's this. It's just also for the people who are there, right? They're on the battlesmans. They have watches all around the clock. People are probably not sleeping much and haven't been for a long time. And you also see like there's refugees and stuff here. A little there's a. It's way too many people in a small space. So even though I think you see like this the direction, and they also have like a similar one. There's like this small, like almost like this breath of air, right, in this like hectic situation. And you see like someone look up and like almost starting to cheer, and then you hear like the like maybe a ballista arrow or something hit the battlements, and it just like stops again. As you come in, I think you look start to look around you. You get like the camera getting like focused on the environment instead. How does it look inside the fort, Joel?
So I think like immediately when you get into the fort, I keep like comparing it to Helm's Deep, and in that the kind of like back door area was where like all the women and children were. So I think like probably like when Val like busts through the door holding the cadre, it's like I think that there's probably some soldiers there to like stand guard at that doorway, but it's probably a lot of like frenzied activity nearer to the walls as people are trying to like knock off undead that are just trying to like brute force drag their fingernails into the wall and climb up, and like dead quiet of people like hiding and trying not to breathe because they probably think like undead can smell your living breath or something like that. And yeah, like I said, I think it's probably like dead quiet here, and then like loud and boisterous and full of rumors like nearer to the walls.
What do you do with the cadre as you come in?
I think as soon as Val comes in, she asks for a medic, basically. I don't think she's really messing around here. Obviously, she knows that he's really hurt. And like that's probably the first like eyewitness confirmation of what happened that people get, is she probably comes in and is like, I need a medic. And then like when she hands him off, she's like, be careful, he's a hero that killed Render. Because she wants him like treated special.
Cool. And I think I think probably someone from you see maybe like people being a little bit scared of you when you come in first, because I mean it's you're like a fully armed. You came from the outside, right? They don't know what's going on. They're civilians mostly, but I think like as you just say that your like voice definitely like carries through like the courtyard. And you see like there's a woman over by the other side who just like comes walking towards you and just like looks up at you and like takes the cadre and says, I'll take care of him. You just I'll give him the treatment he deserves. Don't worry. We got a lot of training here. I know what I'll do to make him feel better. And I and I think like you see, I think we cut the scene there actually because I wanted like a separate scene with the officers. What I want is I think I'm gonna take another low morale scene for the back at camp scene. That's a festering blight wound covered up by a soldier is revealed, and I think this is not a soldier actually. This is this is the chosen that has gotten this blood of Render in her open wound in her chest that we saw when Render slashed her ribs. But first, I think I want to frame the scene with probably like the commander of the fort addressing the leadership of the Legion. I think all of the officer roles can be there if you want to, but he's definitely like addressing the commander. Do you know this is the commander of the fort is Commander Jonakas, a grizzled Alemanni veteran. This is like the last stand, pretty much. I guess it's not so dissimilar from what the Legion is planning to do, just a different place. And I think he comes down from the battlements. Yes, I can. He comes down from the battlements, and how does he recognize that you're the commander, Saya?
Well, I think part of it is just that, like, you know, I'm like we get in there and I'm walking in front and everyone is with me and they're like, people are like coming to me to report stuff. I'm just very clearly the person that is like, people are bringing me information, right? Like, you know, like a rookie runs up, says, you know, the ghost owls are in and stuff like this, and then goes like running off. I just like give them a curt nod. And I think it's a thing where like I'm walking in, I see him coming down, I recognize that he's in charge.
Yeah, you definitely do. I think the way you recognize that is that everyone is moving out of the way. Yeah, it's just like nobody. It's just like you see people are very crowded and they're almost falling over themselves to make room for him coming down from the battlements. He is a quite short man actually, like maybe 160 or something like that. But very like toughly built, and you see it's definitely someone who leads from the front. Has plenty of scars all in their face, and I think you see. I think actually one of his eyes are like is kind of like dead looking, and he has like this leather, more like padded thing armor, very like practical, not anything fancy or anything like that. No designations. And he like comes, walks down, and he walks down the stairs. So I guess you kind of firstly like realize how much you're probably taller than him, Saya, I guess.
I see Zaya's like 6'4" or something like that. Like she was a heavy when she was, you know, yeah.
And as like you come down, you realize how much how little he actually is. And he because he likes coming down the stairs, right? So and it comes to the level like that you are, and he definitely doesn't care. He goes all the way down and just like looks looks up and says, Well, that was pretty impressive.
And I and I give one of those nods, like I have to admit that it was, but not like a, like I'm not like all like puffed up and anything, but I kind of nod a couple of times and I say, we needed to make an impression if we wanted to get inside. Commander Jonakis, well met. I am Commander. I'm the commander of the Legion.
He nods. I know who you are. I would have let you in even if you wouldn't have done such an impression.
And I smile and kind of like a grim chuckle, and I say, "Indeed, hopefully this will make it easier for you to justify having more mouths to feed if we lend the strength of our swords to yours."
Yeah, and I think he looks over at like the rest of you, like just like eyeing you. How do you? Yeah.
The marshal is mustering the state of the armed and defenders of the fort.
Yeah, I think. I mean, they have been. Well,
trying
it's lucky
to guess,
that they have.
Yeah. And what, like, how much fight do they have left in them? Like looking for the signs of things falling apart, or like I assume, like around their commander, they'll still be putting on probably their bravest faces, right? But you can see it in the details, and
yeah. I think what you see is that they're seriously undermanned for having a 24-hour operation, and I mean, not more equipped than they need to be. But the main problem is that they are fighting a force that can fight 24 hours a night, and they're just humans, so they haven't slept in a week. Some of them probably.
Yeah.
But they are well organized and disciplined. For now, they definitely have a good leadership. And I guess, I mean, when you fight up against the wall, you recognize that stuff.
Yep.
What is a detail that you see that gives you more information than Jonakas would have given you?
Me? And we can collaborate on what the actual conclusion is. But I think maybe I see in like one of the nooks of the battlements, there's like a soldier who's like clearly doing some sort of double duty. Like he's dressed as like a person who's arming the wall, but he's like almost fallen asleep over a pot that has like an actual stew bubbling in it, and I'm trying to guess at how many civilians are actually still in this place. And it seems to be few. Like there's almost no support left also in the background that might like just help the daily and nightly logistics of keeping up a defense here. So I'm guessing maybe, yeah, I'm guessing Jonakas is him, right? Yeah, I'm guessing he's probably found a way to extricate civilians somehow. I'm not sure yet how, but like Fort Jalisco is like half, like it's half a fort, half it's an actual like settlement in town, I think, right? So I'd be expecting to see more civilians, at least off in the distance, or more signs of people actually still living here.
Mm-hmm. And I think he reacts to the commander saying, "I hope you wouldn't mind some extra mouths to feed a little bit." Like you see, that's why he looks around to see if he can find whoever's responsible for that. How does he recognize the quartermaster for being that person? What's your tell?
I think, well, one would be that whenever they're able to walk, the quartermaster is with their Mercy, Silver Standing Ember. And I think they're both pretty recognizable as Mercies because you get a lot of them have the brand, right? So I think Standing Ember has one on their hand, and the quartermaster has one on his neck. And he also carries around like a big notebook all the time that has like the different like just their records basically, and recruitment sheets and all of that. I think he just very plainly looks like a nerd.
Okay, cool. I think he Jonacus addresses you, Saya, and says, "What's your quartermaster's name?"
Jim, as a player, needs to take a moment to look it up because I'm used to just calling them the quartermaster.
It's Isaac Albrecht.
Captain Albrecht.
I think Jonacus is like, "Are you? You're not in this conversation right now, are you?"
Actually,
Albrecht.
so can I?
Yeah.
Let me ask a question. What's our supply situation? How much food do we have?
Yeah, we discussed this a little bit last time. It depends on how soon we can get out of here. We have food for 2 more time passing, I think. Since we split it up into the 2 sessions, I'm not sure if I've already paid for. I think I paid for last session 2 sessions ago, but
I think actually that like it's not like that he's being hostile to your request for that. It's just that he noticed this that you say it, and I think he shouts at Albrecht and say Captain Albrecht,
and I wave you over.
Yeah.
And as he walks over, I kind of turn my head to Jonacus, and I say, and kind of hold up a hand like, we are not mouths to feed. Just, I know that's the first question your people are going to have.
I think he looks at you with a not completely non-readable face. He doesn't flinch at you saying that, and he just like, I just wanted your quartermaster here when I was telling you about the opportunities for you to get supplies.
And I wave Albrecht over and I say, Albrecht, this is Commander Jonacus. He is our host while we are here. Is there someone who serves that role for you that Albrecht can speak with, or do you prefer to speak to him yourself?
We don't. I think he smiles, gives you like a little smile, and he says, "Well, we don't have. We're not a professional army here. We're just. There's no fighting ex-military veteran quartermaster to speak to. It's just a man who likes to keep the books. You can speak to me if you want to speak about those kind of things, but that's not what I wanted to why I wanted to have you here, Albrecht. It's just that I know that it's good to have the one who keeps track of the supplies within hearing distance when I give your commander a proposal to do something dangerous for getting some supplies. And he like smiles.
Yeah, I think Albert was probably like preening his feathers a little bit at being mistaken for someone who had seen combat. Like, he's like, oh, he thinks I got muscles. Well, and is like forgiving not being called by his alright title. Like, I think he came up and he was like, I'm not a captain. But like, yeah, now he's like, and then he sort of like goes back to reality and he's like, of course, we can't have something for nothing, can we?
And I kind of hold up a finger and I say, if we're going to be discussing danger, a moment, please. And I like hold up a hand and holler, Adisha!
Commander.
And I just, like hook two fingers, like, come here.
Yeah, I come strutting over in like a very rigid military step.
And I put one shoulder on the quartermaster and I say, he is in charge of filling our bellies. Adisha here is in charge of the bellies themselves. And kind of standing there with like one hand on each shoulder and say, what's your proposal, Commander?
He takes a deep breath and he says, well, yeah, you see, there was a way to get supplies in here. It's just that this is an old fortress, and there's a lot of ways in and out. Even though that most have been destroyed now, there still was one, and we got some smugglers to get in supplies and get people out. It's just that they didn't want to come anymore, and we don't really have any people to go get them. And I thought you must look like a convincing bunch, so maybe you could convince them.
We've been known to be persuasive when the times call for it, and the times certainly call for it now.
I was wondering where all your people went, Commander Chanakas.
And I think you see, yeah.
I guess that explains it.
I think you see his like he turns towards you, and I think you see his face is pretty like almost like you can see there's a lot of burden on this man's shoulders, and I think he says with this like almost like pretty like emotionally charged voice, but not you don't really see it physically on his face much. He says, well, I don't know if these people I'm getting out of here really has a chance anyway, but we're not gonna outlive these undead, so might as well give them a shot.
Yeah, you might have been buying them valuable time though. Out of curiosity, and I like very subtly shoot our commander a look. Do you know those refugees that you've gotten out of the city? Are they taking the high road?
I think he says, well, I wasn't gonna send them down,
We've only have reports mostly of what's up ahead towards Skydagger Keep.
I would think that someone with arms might have a chance of getting through the mall, but I wouldn't send civilians through there. And we don't have any. Well, we don't have a lot of soldiers to spare.
So it actually
sent some with them, but
so it actually exists. I thought it was a thing of legend only.
Yeah, it exists, and there's a reason why people don't go there. And if you,
he says that, and I laugh, and I like a genuine laugh of like the laugh of like we've spent the last like several weeks doing things people have told us not to do. And I say, there's a reason people don't go through the deep forest either. And yet here we are.
Yeah. And I think we get the sense that because we're not, as an audience, not privy to like every conversation between the leaders of the Legion, right? That the discussion of where we might be going, that's been a topic, a kind of hypothetical topic, but it's been a topic every now and then in the last few weeks or something, right?
Yeah, and we have no goddamn idea.
No,
which like what's going to work and not. So it's he says, "Oh, people don't do that," and it's like, yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
I think I like if I don't know how the others feel about it, but I feel like this is like a, to the extent that we share kind of like I feel like the commander has some, certainly like battlefield humor about her, of laughing about like, well,
Yeah, I mean, at this point, we
fucked
have
if
to.
we do, fucked if we don't. So we may as well do it and not, not die bored. So yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think like he I don't think he shows it very well. You might someone who is like very socially adept at reading people might will definitely see that he probably like scoffs a little bit at that inside, being like someone who is not. I think he definitely like has this feeling of. I mean, the fall of an army is when they get arrogant about their chances, right? That's how he interprets that. I mean, it might not
absolutely
be...
and it certainly could be read as, and I don't think she's necessarily like coy or polite about it, that like, dying because we did something stupid but bold is way better than like just sitting here like dying one by one in a box that we're too scared to leave.
Yeah, and we haven't had the conversation on a player level yet, or I don't know, Jim, if you have like a very concrete idea which route you eventually want to take. But I think fictionally, what the Marshal is putting out there is the thing that's kind of left unsaid, but is if the refugees take the high road and we take the other road, the Legion is going to be drawing the undead armies behind us, and that
we're gonna pull the bad guys.
There's an element of this. We do not even have to get through the maw and survive it to be successful. If that means the refugees make it, right? There's that idea and put out there and left unsaid as well, I feel.
Yeah, I like that. I think I also kind of like how this kind of because I mean the Legion is a little bit like that, right? It's your name is going to be in the annals, right? It's bold and brash, and this is like a leader that's completely different.
Yeah, and I kind of like that. One of the things we established last time was that this great like crazy thing that happened on the battlefield that everyone talked about was one of my officers doing something I explicitly told them not to do. So yeah.
Cool. I think that's seen, unless someone wants to add something. Awesome. Yeah, it didn't turn out to be one of the prompts for the back at camp scene, but I really like that anyway, so I'm just going to leave it at that, I think. And I might put in some chosen things afterwards, perhaps. Let's do the rest of the campaign phase. So first thing that happens is that time passes. So you add a time and a pressure. So now you're back at the full clock, I guess, since the reward last time was, well, I guess, well, does it though? Actually, wait a second, because that was the Fort Callisto thing. I'm not actually sure if the time passes. Let's see here. That's a bit weird. So, because I guess this was like not really like a mission phase in that way. It was just like getting into Fort Callisto. I'm not sure how this works. I think I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I mean it does make sense. You know, time passed, the undead keep coming. So
Yeah,
I like
sure.
it seems entirely reasonable to add a time and a pressure, just like we do at the beginning of every, you know,
it didn't say anything else.
So yeah, you know, we got a campaign phase before the attack.
That's
so
true.
I've always thought of this as kind of like, you know, you pay for the campaign phase, you put the quarters in, and then you get the, you know, whatever thing it is that you want. So yeah.
Cool.
And then I've added a time and a pressure.
Cool. And then the quartermaster must spend 1 food to feed a legion, or the legion loses 2 morale.
So, except we advanced, right? Mm-hmm. Doesn't this count as moving from one area to the next? And wait, except
you advanced last time.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Because you moved from Fort. You're still in Fort Callisto.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yes, that was the time passes, and then there's the campaign actions. So quartermaster, you get to take campaign actions.
Okay. So, I mean, now we only have 1 food. So we will run out before Skydagger Keep.
We are doing a supply mission.
That's one of the things that the game is kind of confusing about. I get the capital S supply, which is like
oh, that's like stuff.
Well, it's basically the currency to either buy another move or to boost a move. I don't get actual assets like food or anything like that.
Okay.
I can look for food now, but it seemed like last time maybe we were thinking it might be worth it to just pay the 2 morale to run out of food.
This is also this has a good asset rating actually, so it is that's also why they're not like, oh, we don't need your food or anything, it's fine, we have food. They have an asset rating of 2. So if you wanted to get food, this is probably like the last.
Yeah, if I want to get food, I can probably find it, but I don't know if people would rather maybe I do something else. Like if we need, like.
I mean, you get 2 actions, right? And you can potentially spend your 1 supply for a 3rd action. So you've got lots of things you can do. So I'd go like, I'm like, you're the quartermaster, be my guest, and do what you think is neat or cool for us to have.
Okay. So how are we doing on stress after all of that? Could we use a Liberty?
The cadre's got 3 marked, and I think other people have some marked as well, right?
We're doing pretty
yeah,
good.
Dr. Boom's got only 1 marked. The Kingfisher.
Val has the most, but Val
Did
also
2.
took the advance of getting more a longer stress track.
Yeah, Val's got 5 marked.
Yeah, but she still can take 5
Mhm.
or 4, I think. And
Okay.
so
What about-
all our squads don't have any stress. So here's what the marshal says, and I think he says, and this is like part of our typical regular debrief, right? From the marshal's point of view, like not even taking into account the heroic feat of the cadre, this was a resounding success. Like everybody pulled off to, like, you couldn't expect it in a more perfect way to pull off this kind of stunt that we did. So morale's up, spirits are high, and we're actually energized. So that's me saying, don't worry about the stress we've got.
So that leaves. So as the commander, I have a question of if we can take multiple actions, do we want to see if maybe some of these kids manning, the walls were so impressed that they want to join the Legion? Do we want to recruit? Where are we at with? Could we use some more rookies?
We get 5 or per recruit, right?
Yep.
Okay. We're good on that front too. The shattered lines are very thin, but
okay. That said, if you did do a Liberty, the cadre's got stress, it would affect him. He'd boost it, so it would be a boosted Liberty.
What about harm? Do we need rest and recuperation?
No.
Yeah, no one's got any harm right now, I don't think, right?
Nope.
We like to go straight to trauma.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
that, and we wrecked some heavy machinery of the enemy, but there might be things to salvage from it. Maybe we should take a look if we can utilize those for our ends.
Yeah, that's kind of sort of what I was thinking. If everybody's doing okay, I can possibly acquire assets for food, and then either try another acquire assets for a specialty thing like siege weapons, or we can start another long-term project if you want to try and make like a special siege weapon or something like that, something to put on the walls when we get to Skydagger, like a black shot catapult or something.
I mean, sounds good. we already have tried small explosives, right? Maybe let's go for the next bigger thing.
Yeah. Figure out how to rig,
black shot cannon.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. For Mikhail, would the size of that clock be doable before the end of the game?
It's
weaponry.
I mean, I think that counts as a siege weapon to me because you already have like the ammo for it, right? It's just like slaying or like bombing something else than a stone. So I guess like a 4 o'clock. So yes, it would be possible, depending on how you roll, of course. But you could even do it in 1, I guess, if you rolled real well.
Okay. And if we want it to be a special one, would that be an acquire asset or like a research? If we wanted it to be like a black shot siege weapon.
I don't think because you already have the grenades, right? So for me, it makes kind of sense that it's just if it's a black shot cannon, it's just a cannon.
Big grenade launcher. Yeah.
So it's just a long-term project.
Okay, let me get to my section.
Just because I think it will count towards like the siege weapon if you have siege weapons points for the end score.
Yeah, sorry, I haven't done an acquire asset in a long time because we kept finding stuff. So I roll the assets rating.
So it's also on your sheet. You can actually click on acquire assets there, and it's with the locations rating.
Okay. I assume is it possible to find siege weapons here?
I don't think you don't acquire assets. You make the cannon, right. So it's a long-term project.
Okay.
I don't think you can acquire siege engines. You have to build them.
Okay.
It doesn't mention siege weapons, but
for acquire assets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sure. Then you can. I can say no. It's the rules.
I mean, the difference kind of is. It's probably like
probably
the Marshall mentioned, right?
It also, like, if anywhere on the map it actually makes fictional sense that we could get a hold of, like a
ballista
capture a trebuchet and haul it inside while we fight off the undead that are or even get the cannibalize the parts to it, that they let us haul it off when we leave, is that like this is the place where that makes sense.
Yeah, sure. Acquire assets fine. Also, it's probably easier to fill the clock with acquire assets than with long-term project.
Okay, I was just thinking that Dr. Boom might like to use his new research ability for the long-term project. I think acquire assets isn't a clock. It's just like you get one.
Determines the quality.
You get one that sucks. Yeah. So.
Yeah, somewhere else we would have needed to build it and then do it via long-term project, but here with like everything that's there, it's just like getting the parts together, like buying some stuff of the people here. That's how I imagine it in the fiction, and I can already tell you that yes, Dr. Boom's like. Very keen on going out and taking another look at what happened to that tower and like going through the ruins of that.
Okay, so we will do an acquire asset 2.
Yes. Mikael said yes.
Yes. And this is for the siege weaponry.
Cool. You have a...
That would be standard, right?
Standard siege weapon, yeah.
Okay.
I probably think like it's more of a ballista kind of thing that you engineered a little bit, not a cannon, because that would be more like a fine.
Yeah.
But it works.
Okay.
Like I imagine like a mega slingshot, pretty much.
For my second action, should I just roll for food, or would you guys be interested in? I guess I could look for horses. That's always fun.
Horses are good too.
Or another.
Always handy.
Some other kind of long-term project, maybe.
So if I read your sheet, the filled out ones are the ones used or the ones left?
The filled out ones are the ones left.
Okay. Well, we still have 3 horses left, so
Okay.
I don't.
Also.
Something that might be useful to know is that it's a pretty big advantage to have more than 3 or like 4 or higher on morale for the last mission, to not get a minus on the Skydagger Keep on.
Okay.
It's not intuitive, so I thought it would be good to like. You can still do whatever you want. I just.
Okay. I think that so many things to do. Does the way that supply carts work, does that effectively like double the food? Sorry.
It gives you one more use of every asset, isn't it? It's like you have 4 instead of, I don't remember how it worked now.
That was another thing that might be useful to get in a place that has good asset rating. I think I'm just going to go ahead and look for food. So we can eat before we go into Skydagger.
Yeah, the way I read the supply cards here is you have to use them to carry the food.
Yeah, mechanically how it works is that you can take one more supply when the Legion moves, and you get 4 ticks of food for one 4 uses of food for one cross instead of 3.
Okay. So yeah, I think I'll just look for food.
What is that? Is that also a quiascida?
Yeah, I just rolled it for a 4 and a 3.
Yeah, that's
Standard.
standard. It's 1 box of food.
Okay.
So 3 uses.
Nice.
Cool.
So then if we needed to stay in one location for a bit, now we can do that.
Yeah. Cool. So that's the campaign actions. We did not advance this time, so that you're stuck here until you can find a way out, which is the mission. The mission focus is the supply missions, where you're also going to get the route out. And then it is, I guess it's time to do intel questions for the mission, and then do the engagement roll, and then we'll go for a short break. What intel questions do you want to ask commander.
Let me see. We've got 0 intel, so, or at least right now.
Question.
Right now we do. All right, let me just fire up find my intel questions here. Here we go. 0 or more. Ask one of the following questions. What would be a useful item to bring on this mission?
Something to light the way.
It's gonna be dark. Yep, got it. We're gonna be in some tunnels, I suspect.
Yeah, and it's gonna be a tunnel where not having light might have some adverse consequences.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Cool. Time to assemble the engagement roll.
All right. So this is a supply mission.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm sending. The marshal is sending Val with yeah, actually, yeah, it's Val with anthracite sweeping calm. Because you gotta have someone to talk to the smugglers, right? But the command will lie with Val actually, and the it's Val, so it's gonna be the Ember Wolves. Let's focus on the campaign that won't last forever anymore. Let's get the people that we know and focus on them instead of opening up a whole new squad of people we don't know yet. Yeah. And do I need to save for the secondary mission already too, right?
Yep.
I think secondary mission will be with the Kingfisher taking the ghost owls, and I think I will want this is probably a night defense or something, right? Against whatever they're trying to throw at the fort.
I think what it is actually is that they're trying to retrieve Render's body.
Oh yeah, right. Yes. Yeah.
And Kingfisher wants to bring it back.
Yeah, I think that
this is, fictionally speaking, this mission success would hinder me from making a big ass Render zombie of blighter, like a blighter concoction.
I like that. Yes. But we all worry at the end about the secondary mission. But at least we know it's the Kingfisher with the ghost owls is taking care of that.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Actually, I think the Kingfisher and Aurora to commit on that part.
Cool.
All right. But then for our supply run, are all on the mission oath sworn to the Legion? Yes, right? Did the commander spend 1 intel to give foresight and info? No, we didn't have any intel even to spend. Not everyone is a specialist or soldier. does any Legionnaire distrust the leadership or not fear them enough? I don't think. Yeah?
Not yet.
Not yet?
I think this might be a mission where that might happen, because that was also the Ember Wolves, wasn't it, that I had a clock on? Yeah.
I think
it was
so.
Ember Wolves.
But I
clock,
don't know at what state it is.
It's just has one section filled.
We've got required specialists with us. And for supply mission, the quartermaster spent food to equip the mission.
Yeah.
Okay. Is the current pressure higher than 2? No? Nice, okay. Then it's 2 dice. Alright. Primary mission. Whew. It's a 5.
So we'll be back with a risky situation after the break. We'll be back in about 10 minutes. See you after the break. we're back, and the Legion sure is happy they brought lanterns. Maybe we'll see. First thing we got to do is to decide which load you're bringing, and you can also say which character you'll be playing for the mission. We can start with. Did we decide that completely?
No, I don't think so. So
let's do that then.
Well, we've got all of the Ember Wolves available, so that includes people like Violet, Charging Tide, and Meaty. And we've got Val and Anthracite as the specialists on the mission. I'm happy to play Anthracite, but if someone else has like strong feelings and they want to take, then okay, then I'd take Anthracite. And I'm going load light, taking the soldier's kit and a flare gun as utility.
And the rest of you all?
I'll be Val unless Jim felt strongly about it. Okay. My girl, my child. I'll be Val. Is this a sneaky type of mission?
So this is the sort of thing you would have known if you had intel.
Yeah. So
I mean, I half chose because that's Anthracite always goes light. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a supply mission. It's not an assault mission, but who knows what's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I'm just going to go normal and take the fine shield from that. A weapon and the rookies have the lights? Yes?
They do, but it specifically was useful information that you will be needing lights.
Okay.
Probably because you're going to walk somewhere where it's going to be slippery and you would want to see where you're going.
Okay. I guess I'll take the soldier's kit too then. I was wondering if maybe a wrecking kit would be useful in case of cave-ins or something.
You are the wrecking kit, I think.
Okay, so yeah, I'll just take the soldier's kit so I have a light then.
That leaves you with some rookies to choose from. Jim? Oh, hey, Anna.
I think this is the Ember Wolves, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so can I be Azure Surging Flood?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because she's actually a soldier. I'll do that. She misses the bird songs.
Load?
I think probably, let's see, what do we got? Yeah. Man, do I want to be? So what do we got? Val's got normal load. Yeah, I'll take normal load. Oh, actually, you know what? Normal is everything that you would normally get plus a heavy weapon or a shield. I'll just take light. Let me take a light load. Oh,
Cool.
plus 2 utility. You get additional utility, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you
What do you
have
guys-
the Panyard trait where you can carry 1 extra?
I do not. I'm shrewd and I'm an artisan. Light armor, hand weapon, find kit, memento of home. I feel like just light load is fine for this. I'm gonna have her take a light load.
Cool. So I think I'm gonna like frame the scene. It's rainy day, and it's probably dark actually as you go out of the fort.
You know what? Actually, I can take a couple of other kits. I will take normal, and then I can take like a soldier's kit, a wrecking kit, like that. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to take normal.
Okay, cool. Sure. So you see there. I think you see you're going like inside like these caves, and you see like this montage of you kind of walking and half like climbing and crawling a little bit with your lamps, and it's wet. You see it's dripping from the roof. You're going over like these cracks and have some places you have to like jump over, and you're sure pretty happy that you brought some lights, and maybe also cursing a little bit the extra kits or whatever you brought to carry, and this is also where if you would roll desperately, I might have put you in a place where you like something happened here, but I don't think it did. So you get out of this like a cave system that apparently I imagine actually it probably had been was like half a natural cave system and half at least from Fort Callisto it wasn't natural. They made like a tunnel down to this like cave system below, and you travel down there for at least a full day, like underground, not traveling very very quickly because it's quite treacherous terrain, and a little it's like these pretty big holes. Like you see like the stalagmites and stalactites like coming up, and it's a bit like disorienting because I mean it all looks the same here and it's dark, right? So even if you have lights and you know where you're walking, it doesn't like light up the whole area or anything. But you do get out, and I think what happens when you get out is that you see the mountains in like pretty close. You travel like pretty far. Like I would like ping. It's probably like around here or something like that. You're halfway to the moor, and you see like the route where Jonakas pointed out to you. And as you like travel up towards the mountains where the smugglers have their base, during the day, or it's probably like the next evening. Like it's been 2 days that you've been traveling. You get you're in this on this like climb going up, and you hear like just like a rock drop, and like seconds afterwards, you're like surrounded by these people with bows and like hoods, with guns to your faces, and yeah, what do you do?
Well, first off, my question is, can I resist that? And in the sense that I mean that Anthracite smelled this in the last second and ducked away somewhere unseen, so that they don't have a gun pointed in their face, but slipped into the shadows of some rocks nearby.
Sure.
What would that be? Insight.
Yes.
Because that's what I was aiming for. That's a bad roll.
It's 4 stress.
Wow. Yeah, well, here we go. Next trauma on the way.
Well, how does it look? How does Anthracite do this? Is it like the just
So
disappearing behind the corner, or is it like what does it look like?
yeah, I think it might be what it looks like is Violet looking at them and saying, we must be getting close sometime soon, right? And then we follow Violet's gaze with the camera, look up ahead.
Oh, and if it's people saying stuff, then Azure would cock her head and say, "I expected there to be birds."
Yeah, and then Violet turns,
and she doesn't hear him. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And Violet looks at you, right, as you say that, and then it's like surprised because Anthracite is gone, and then like the little pebbles come tumbling down and has a gun in her face from the other side. But Anthracite like is vanished. Like we didn't even see Anthracite vanish.
Yeah, and like the gun is I guess who's leading? Who's in the front?
Yeah, I mean it's Val.
Yeah, so you have a gun directly in your face.
Yeah, it's Val, because when you're spelunking, the biggest person always goes first.
Yeah, it's true story. And I think it's just like you see like this hooded figure, and you just like see their mouth below, like with the some light from your lantern, and it says this road is not for strangers. Only invited can go here.
They're like recognizable as human, right?
Yeah.
I think Val doesn't really show any kind of like indication one way or another that she's like frightened or like mad or whatever, and she's just like, well, how do you get invited?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think he like cocks his head a little bit, and like drags his mask or his hood a little bit up. Well, actually, I don't think it's he. It's a woman with like a little, but still like a little, probably like a raspy voice, I think. And you see like a pretty like square faced, like also like blue-eyed, red haired, but and a little bit like pretty light skin, looking up at you and says, well, if you don't know it, then you don't know it. Then you're not invited. That's how it works.
Yeah, I think she just like turns to Violet, like seems a little unfriendly to me.
Can we? Here's a question. Can I spot who they are to identify them?
Sure. What are you? What? I'd say. I mean, it's.
I'm proposing a couple of things here potentially, and that's one. I do have the trait Traveler, so I've like actually might have been here before. Then I'd propose this might be a scout thing, right? Like that I recognize something about them that lets me like spot who they belong to, like to identify them. And I've also got the special ability Infiltrator. When you gather info through clandestine observation or attempt to bypass traps, security measures gain potency. To like justify, this might be a thing that Anthracite might actually know if I roll well enough. I might also, and I would like, I think this might be risky because I might misidentify them.
Yeah, for sure.
So
or,
like, it's not just a normal gather info roll, maybe. However you want to spin it.
Yeah, I think the risk here is not misidentifying them, but probably like more like being the information being something that's not good for your situation. Like they are people who, like, I imagine this could go. I don't know who these people are completely. So what I would say is that if you gather some favorable information, you'll know something about them, that maybe they are robbers who are like more like rebels or something used to be. But if you fail, maybe they're just like people who ruthless robbers who just
like I might get some information to use this leverage, but I might also be like, no, like these are just bad people. Cool. So that would be risky normal.
Yep.
Do you have a Devil's Bargain? Otherwise, I might have a potential idea.
I have a Devil's Bargain, actually. You actually have a relationship with them, and they don't like you. That
was my idea. Like, I have a history. Yes. And I'm fine because it's a Devil's Bargain of you maybe defining it, or like we can work that out.
Yeah, we'll see how you roll, because that also depends a little bit who they are, right? So I'm gonna
sure. Let's go with that. That is fine. Risky, standard. I'm gonna roll. Well,
yeah. I think what you know about them, you do know about them. Of course, you realize there's probably. I don't know. I'm gonna say that probably. These are just like highway robbers, and they're not like the kind of they have robbed enough to stop robbing people, but they don't, right? They used to be rich and are pretty well off, but I guess the situation makes it worse. But they're known to be ruthless.
Are they cannibals? They're cannibals, aren't they?
Well, there's a lot of rumors about what they are. It has been said, but I think the relationship you have with them is that you've been. They tried to rob you before, right? And you killed a couple of them, and they know who you are.
And I guess I get recognized, or like there's someone else in the shadow.
I mean, you're not there, right? They don't see you.
I mean, I rolled a 1 to 3 on a risky situation, like that might warrant me getting stabbed.
Oh yeah, maybe. I think not. Maybe. I think you feel like a cold blade against your throat.
Yeah.
And I think you hear actually. There's someone you know. You have a personal relationship with one of these people.
Yes.
What is that?
Wait a second. Yes, I know what that is, because I want to resist that consequence. And like, as soon as I feel it, there's like this move where I turn their blade against them. So I've got them with a blade at their throat.
Okay, cool.
What attribute would that be? Prowess for like quick moving, athleticism, or?
Sure.
I mean, I'm You can also say insight. I've got 4 dice in that, but
No, that's fine. I think pros.
Well, that's still not a good roll.
They still know you though. You recognize this person.
Yeah, I know. I recognize this person because that stresses me out so much that I'm out of the scene. So I think I have a very personal relationship. I mean, I did resist it, so I've got them, but I'm like completely. Maybe we'll see in a moment who that is. Unless you have a specific idea, I might just think about something.
Sure. We'll cut back to.
Sorry for messing this all up.
I should never have believed you about not taking the liberty. I forgot that you love trauma and hurting the Legionnaire.
And I think we smash cut to like, this is a pretty fun, like in the TV series, this looks pretty interesting. Like you see this, you with the gun point, Val, and then back behind, like just behind the corner, you just like see like this small tussle between Anthracite and this hooded character, ending up with the knife against their throat, and Anthracite realizing, fuck. This is, and then we smash cut back to Val with the gunpoint, looking at this woman at the end of the rifle, and yeah, what do you do? You probably like I guess you might be waiting for Anthracite to do something, right? Because they're gone, but nothing happens, and like the woman just. Looks at you and is like, "Are you stupid or what? What's going on? What are you waiting for? What's this?"
Do we hear the tussle with Anthracite back there?
You might hear some sounds, and I think the woman says, "Well, your friend, we have him. Them, I guess him, because they don't know, right?"
I mean, I think the penalty for misgendering my friend is death, and I attack.
Cool. Yeah, sure.
I think Val's just hoping that like whatever's going on back there is distracting them, and they're probably like most of the people that they've robbed on this route are probably like refugees, right?
Yeah, probably.
So I think she's just like gonna bank on them not being used to somebody just ready to punch and fight and like try and like knock the gun away and then like axe the lady.
Yeah, I think that's. I think it's desperate because you have a gun in your face.
Understandable.
But I think it's actually a great effect because it is definitely caught. They're definitely caught by the surprise. This is a stupid move, and which is an advantage for you in this instance.
Yes.
If you succeed, at least.
Okay. Would it be for some mechanical help? Would this be a situation where it would be useful to use anchor to up my scale?
Not really, because you're doing this to this person in front of you, right? So you're at the same scale.
Okay. Yeah, I just didn't know.
So
can Azure spend a couple of stress to help?
Can spend 1 stress to help.
Oh, 1 stress. That's right. Yes, I'm going to do that.
How is she helping?
This chick has a pistol to Val's head, right? And Azure like very like is looking at Val, looking at her, and she sees like she just sees Val like whatever it is, like blink or her lip curl or whatever, and I know she's like set her off, and like this is gonna, and so I just like slap my hand against my hip where my pistol is, so that her eyes have to dart to me just for a second because I'm gonna draw. So she has to like just split her focus just for a moment to let Val get that shot in.
Yeah, that gives you an extra die. What attribute are you using?
Skirmish.
Yeah. You can also take stress to push yourself if you want an extra die.
I'm sorry, what was the effect?
Great.
Okay. Well, I roll with 3 for skirmish now.
Yeah.
And then there's an extra helping die.
Also, to be clear, what the great does here is that if you manage to pop this one off, I think the rest is going to be like, okay, it's not a clock or anything. They're just like, okay, we get it. You're a big bad. What do you want?
Okay. Okay, I'll push myself.
Cool. Let's see the roll.
Make sure we get this.
Oh, that's a crit.
Yay! I was so afraid. I was
yeah.
I was like, I probably don't need to, but then I've just seen all of Mateus' rolls, and I'm like,
they're going to need a new bandit chief, is what's going on here, I think.
So how does this? What is Val doing? How does this look? Describe this to me.
I think that actually, it's possible that Anthracite's not the only person who's got history here, and I don't know if this would be like that common of a thing that like everyone in the Legion would know, but we've established that Val used to be a raider. So like before joining the Legion, like Val was probably somewhat like these people and used caves like this to like hit up people and then get out. So I think part of her is like, I know what they understand. And so she like knocks the gun aside and then just like summarily like executes this lady. Like just puts her axe like right in her face and then like kicks the corpse off of her axe. And like is basically like, if you won't invite us, it doesn't matter.
Oh, I just found my invitation. There it is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's very cool. Okay, so the woman like just drops to the ground, and I think we smash cut back to Anthracite. Who is this person that you're holding at a knife point?
Well, I half think I am not really anymore, because I think when I recognize them, like I give off like this dumbfounded look, and next thing is like I get a knee into my midsection and double over, and we hear them yell out, "You bastard! You left me to die!" And it's Emerald Smoldering Fire, their former lover, who was also here when we got robbed, and I got away, and they didn't, but they somehow managed to survive among the band. Thing though is, I'm taking the trauma obsessed, and I'm obsessed with Emerald. Yeah.
What a plot twist. Okay, so I think you does Val say anything doing this?
Quickly, I want to say, didn't Anthracite used to date the Horned One? They were who we found in the fort, or when we did that big infiltration mission?
Yes.
Okay, so 1, apparently Anthracite can get it. 2, They used to date the horned one, and this is who they're obsessed with. I'm freaking out. I think, yeah, Val basically is just like looks at this person and is like, drop them now, or like, looks like they're gonna like you're next, basically.
Yeah, and I think you see how does Emerald look, Matthias?
Well, I think they're clad in like the same bandit with the hood up, right? But they definitely have the name Emerald from the fierce color of their eyes. I probably imagine like they definitely comply, but with like a sneer towards Anthracite, they like toss the knife into like safe distance away. It clatters on some rocks.
Mm-hmm. And I imagine like they give you like this burning look as Val says that, and then just like looks over at Val and like drops the knife and like, okay, you got me. You got new friends now, Anthracite. What do you want? What are you even doing here? How fucking dare you come back?
I'm still just wheezing and like trying to get up again, right? And like a little bit like a couple of feet away from them, so I don't get kicked again before I can catch my breath. So if someone else wants to jump in, otherwise Anthracite might talk in a moment here. But
I think like Azure steps up, grabs the dead bandit leader's pistol that she dropped, tucks it into, the bandolier of her uniform. She's got the other one in her hand, and she like waves at a couple of rookies, and we start like basically kind of corralling them into a little group and like kicking weapons out of the way. And I say to the rookies, that's not all their weapons. Some of them are still armed. You probably don't want to know where they're putting those weapons, so just keep a close eye on them. And have the rookies are just holding them at gunpoint. And just kind of and we'll sort of herd them together as best we can. And I'm gonna assume that Val is gonna go talk to people, and I kneel down and start going through the leaders, looking for, like if she's got any, like if she's got a little map on her or whatever, like just kind of rifle her pockets.
Yeah, I look at Val if you want to take the lead on this. Anthracite is definitely like kind of a little bit trying to still like suss out what the fuck just happened.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Val does want to take the lead on this because Anthracite was specifically assigned because
to Val, be the one who does the talking, and you just did the acting. Right, so you did your job, and then Anthracite like gives you that look, and it's probably like maybe we probably haven't worked that much with each other, so it's quite natural between those two, I guess, to exchange a look. You have the official command of the thing, but I'm here for a reason. And then I say, we're looking for some smugglers.
Yeah, and I think Emerald like looks up at you with like this dumb face and says like, well, what for?
Smugglers that have been working with the resistance at Fort Calico. And I'm trying to talk to everybody else and not Emerald, but that's also not the situation, right? They operate. You must know them. They've been getting people out. You know if there've been people moving about in the countryside here.
Yeah, and I think they look at you and like and like shrug and say, well, who do you think it is? What can I say? The commander pays us well.
Yeah, sure. Well, I see.
I think Val kind of shoots a look at like the two halves of the lady she just killed and is like, oops.
And I'm doing this super formal thing where I'm going, well, smoldering fire. The commander used to pay you well because you were doing your job, and even if she still had her head on, you weren't doing it anymore, were you?
Well, Boryev is not gonna be happy that you killed his girlfriend. But if it's the smuggler you want, then Boryev is who you're gonna have to talk to. And they look at you and I think just like crosses their arms a little, pleased that you fucked this up a little bit for yourself.
You know, if we didn't have that fight 2 years ago, we wouldn't have been caught out by these lovely folk you keep for company now.
I think we like cut over to a sir who is searching through the body of Boryev's girlfriend, and you do find like a map there. It's on like a leather program. You see like it's the route into Fort Jalisco, and it doesn't start here. It starts from whatever place their camp is.
Yeah, so I see that, I complete the search, I walk over to Val, and sir, I think I found something. And I unfold the map and I say, this is the fort, this is where we are right here. This mark that they made, it's probably where they're from. And I very explicitly do this kind of ostentatiously in the open where they can see and hear me, to see how whether any of them react to that.
I think you probably like see that there's some like nervous looking down the ground among the people you have rounded up. I do think like you definitely like sense the fear of for them like facing the consequences of giving this away. And I think like you see Emerald just like looking at you Anthracite and just like shaking their head and they say like, if we hadn't had that fight, man, that sounds like every You haven't changed at all, have you, Androsite? I moved on. I don't want this anymore. There's no way we're going to go back to this fighting that we did 2 years ago. I have better things now.
And I kind of turned to Val, like with a raised eyebrow, and like I don't say anything, but it's like like what is going on there?
Yeah, I think Val's just kind of like.
Yeah, some nonverbal communication here. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I like just petulantly mumble to myself, yeah. With a band of thieves, better things, right.
I dated a chosen. My rebound was the horned one. How about that?
And I mean, and is this like that kind of comic relief moment where, like, the two of you are like doing that like whisper arguing thing, but it's like your voices are raising, and like it just sort of like the people that we have at gunpoint are now staring at you, we're staring at you, and everybody is just kind of like, is it that kind of thing? Yeah. I feel like it might be that kind of thing.
I think so too.
So is the route on this map the route that we were looking for, or is this just like deeper into the caves where they live?
Yeah, this is the route you were looking for. But you don't have the supply that's in the camp. So how this can work is like you can do whatever you want now. We can do like a time skip to you being in the camp if you wanted to.
Yeah, to the negotiation, or
yeah, for sure. I mean, you have leverage here through I mean, you caught them. So I would say this is probably would start at the risky position from there, but you could just skip to that if you wanted to.
I mean, like, is there some kind of like, is there, and I think Azure would even ask this as we're walking, like, I kind of like, I go to Val, I don't understand how this works. Are you in charge now?
I think I was already in charge.
Well, no, but I mean, like, by their rules, like officially, like, are you the chief now? How does that work? You know what? Anthracite would know. Hey, Anthracite, wave him over.
Yeah.
Or wave them over. Sorry.
I think that was about to explain, and then you're like, no, Anthracite would. And she's like, I live here.
Yeah.
But she's like, no, let him talk. It'll be funny.
Yeah. No, Anthracite like comes up or turns towards you, right? But be like, feel free to cut back in there and actually say, no, I live here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because I don't think Azure has any idea about that.
Yeah.
Like, she figured you were just being decisive.
Yeah. Val's just like, no, I don't. If I had done that to their leader, then maybe. But it was just the second in command.
Oh. So when we get there, are you going to do that?
Well, hold up now. Maybe we find a diplomatic solution to this.
Should I have the squad be ready for that?
Have them be ready, but hopefully it won't be necessary.
And I nod gravely, like, okay.
I think but also as Anthracite said, like, maybe we should try a diplomatic solution first. We hear Emerald scoff in the background.
Yeah, and I think probably it's like the kind of it's a double scoff. It's like the scoff. This is going to be a diplomatic, and also double scoff. This is not Panyar lands, right? It's not like if you kill the chief, you're gonna be the chief. We have a Zemyati leader, right?
Yeah.
It's a bit like of the kind of I mean, it's a bit like the kind of I am so much more worldly than you as your kind of moment. I know that because I've been here for 2 years. Ha. Cool. How do you approach this? Like going into the camp, do you just like go in and do this like we got the best of you. You can trade these people for some supplies. What do you think? And also fuck off. Or how does what are you thinking?
Yeah, I think that's sort of more or less how we go in, like the tone being more like confident, I guess, than outright aggressive. Like we have their people, we have the map leading to their house. Now we know that they were the smugglers, right? So even if we don't just like kill them all right here, it would be reasonable for us to like round them up and take them back to the fort for like a military tribunal, which at this point would probably not go well for them. So
and by the way, in a few weeks this will all be moot anyway, because this whole place is going to be overrun with undead.
Yeah. But sorry about your girlfriend.
Yeah. Okay, so I think like you're in this tent. It's like a big, like a pretty big, like cone-shaped tent. Like space for 20, 30 people in here probably.
It's a yurt.
Yeah, pretty much. And like there's a fire in the middle, and you see like this Samyati man sitting at like this on this like wooden. It's not a. It's like a actual chair with a back. That's not something that's is any other place in this tent. It's like more like a benches. Big, like burly, bearded, blonde. Well, actually, I think like dark-haired, actually, which is a bit unusual for Samyati, I think. And as you come in, and I think probably at the moment, like the camera is there, you see like you're already like invited in. Well, how does it look like? Is it how are you holding the hostages like in an aggressive way, or is it how does that look? How did you approach that? It's just for like it's not doesn't have anything to do with like the risk or anything. I just wanted to see what you're thinking like for fictional purposes.
I mean, I think they're probably just getting frog marched, basically.
How are you handling them, monsieur?
I think probably what we like what Azure would recommend is that we bring Emerald in at gunpoint with us, and the others are like outside the village, being like guarded by the rookies, and like if we're not back in 15 minutes. They've been ordered to execute everybody or something like that, but that basically like we're not bringing them all in here where there can be a big ambush and we can, but like basically, like you said, the leverage is the rest of the gang. And, but if we bring Emerald in so that she can sass Anthracite but also she's the one that can say, yeah, it's all true. They took us by surprise. Your girlfriend's dead. All that kind of stuff. And I think Azur's job is basically like guard her, make sure she doesn't try any funny stuff.
So you're the one talking Anthracite, no?
Yeah. I mean, I let Val like be the presence of like calling to attention, but I let her be the silent leader, right? That will maybe at the end do the decisive mark of the conversation. So only after whoever the actual leaders has like taken in all of the situation will I step forward.
Okay, so what I think how this looks is that like there's about 10 armed, not soldiers, I guess, robbers or whatever in here, together with you, and you see Boriev sitting on his chair, and you probably just like told him what the situation is like. That might have been well, I guess, being in the lead, being like the oh yes, we have your people or whatever, and you holding. You holding what was their name again?
Emerald
at gunpoint.
And like I'd like I want to be super cool. Like her hands are tied behind her back and stuff like this. She's not like free to just pull a knife on me or anything like that. So yeah,
their hands.
Sorry.
Cool. So what do you do? Who's taking the lead here?
So, what was the name of the leader again?
His name is Boriev.
Boriev.
I'm gonna write it.
Yeah. So, what I want to do, and this could all roll into a roll, is Boriev. Oh, okay. Yeah. Is give Boriev the moment to process what he's seeing, right? Seeing, like, because, I mean, it's Val. And she's standing there and probably, like, squaring off, right? And it's very clear that we've got Azur's got Emerald in complete control. And only like at the moment Boriev would be like standing up and opening his mouth is when I step forward and say oh, Master Boriev, there's been an unfortunate accident on the road. We come hailing from Commander Jonakas. We're of the Legion. You might have heard of us.
And I think it takes like a couple of seconds to for him to connect the dots, because I guess he knows about it through what was Emerald a part of the Legion, or was that before you entered the Legion?
I think that was before.
But they probably knew about it. I mean, it's not so long ago.
Yeah. Maybe it was on my way to join the Legion. That was our plan. We wanted to join up together.
Yeah, and I think he like connects it, and I think like you see that he like looks at Emerald and then at you, and then like he connects it, and it's like, what? Really?
Yeah, really. We've made it this far. But we were sad to hear that you stopped your operations with Commander Jonakas and the deal you had going on with him and his people. I mean, it's honorable. You seem to have helped save a great deal of folks. But what's going on?
We're packing up. The undead are coming, and there's nothing more for us here. And I don't think, well, Jonakas is out of money, to be honest.
Well, we got some unfortunate news, because it was a bad move to try to waylay us.
I think you see, well, he clearly looks annoyed.
Well, I think we can resolve all this in a good-natured way, though. I guess what I saw outside, we've got like a third of your people right now.
Goddamn idiots.
I think the only loss... No, I don't say that yet. Here's what I do. I step up a little closer and say, first we gotta come clear if we can come to an agreement here. We might even be willing to trade with you, take some supplies off of your hands. It doesn't look like you can take everything with you anyways.
Yeah, you can only take 2.
I'm listening. But be quick about it. I don't have patience for stories about moral code.
Good. Then here's what we'll do. We're gonna give you an option. We can buy the supplies off of you and let you go your own way, and you might find fortune that way, and might get away. Or, second option, you and all your people join us, and you might find a way to survive all of this together. This is where the point where I want to like kind of ask: this is either a sway or consort, right? I've got the same value in both.
Well, you do have leverage, so
what position are we in here?
Well, I think it depends a little bit which one you want to succeed at here. Actually, I think if you want to make them join you, it's consort, and if it's not, it's sway.
Oh, you
It feels more natural here. I think it also the position. I think the position is controlled actually either way, because you're clearly in charge of the situation. I think perhaps that on making them joining, the effect is limited, and for the other one, the standard. They'll be happy to trade, but it will need some extra leveraging for making them join. That's not something that they're inclined to do without you either pushing or whatever you want to do if you want more effect.
Yeah. We're here for the supply and for the route, so I'm not going to go that route. But I'm like fictionally putting it out as an option. Who knows? Maybe I roll a crit, and then that makes sense, or so, right?
I'll say actually, I'll put on a table here. If you want to have your obsession join here, Emerald, I'll give it if you have a great if you put it up to great effect.
Yeah, okay. All right. Yes. Yes, that's the reason Anthracite is trusting all of this in the first place, and like going like what? Maybe Val and Ezra like what? Why? When we are recruiting them? Yeah, let me push for that. Okay, so then it's controlled limited as a starting point, with consort.
No, I think it's just you're still doing the trade. It's just that I think if you go for an extra effect on the sway one, there I think it's like the kind of Boriev saying like, just don't come here with your Moracle. I do think Emerald still like they still have
Sure.
have that, and if you get away with it, I think they will ask Boriev if they can go.
Yeah, maybe they'll be the one who like does like bring the actual supply with make the actual trade happen in the end.
Yeah.
The logistical aspect. Yeah. Okay, so we're at controlled standard then. So here's the thing. I think that happens. I'm willing to give you a couple of minutes, but like you said, we don't have the time. And then I step up close and in a low, like a quieter voice, I say, and I said it was an accident. And I assume we've gotten the name of his girlfriend by now, right? She's the only casualty. And that's how I push it from controlled standard to risky.
Yeah, and I think you hear him say like, Karya. No, not Karya. And I think actually you see probably Emerald like looking at you intently as he says that, like almost like I guess probably from their perspective, reliving some of the memories they have together with you.
Yeah, and I think I actually put a hand on his shoulder. As I see like that his vision blurs at the news, and I look over to Emerald.
Okay,
that sounds like a good roll time, right?
Yeah.
Can I help?
Yeah, fictionally.
Yeah. I'm gonna spend a stress.
What are you doing to help here?
Because I'm right next to Emerald. I've got the gun, and he says that, and then he looks over at her, and I just and I just say, oh, you guys have history, don't you? like I, like stating the obvious, but that like it's like, oh yeah, okay, this is not just like there's something deep there.
Oh, and that makes Emerald actually join the conversation, maybe, and
I don't think join in, but just gives her something to think about.
Yeah,
I think they might join the conversation after you roll. We'll see how that goes.
Oh, okay.
Because like I can only like helping dice are dice and not, you can't mess with effect by helping, right?
No, you can set up someone,
cool.
But that's an action.
Yeah, cool. Then maybe there's a then maybe we get a it gives you a chance to roll a crit. So there we go.
Yeah. Okay. Here goes the roll. It's at least it's a 5. So yep.
We got our stuff.
We do it, but there's some consequence.
I think okay, I think I know what it is. Okay, so you see, I think Boriev looks up at you, and you see his like eyes. I think actually you see tears like from his eyes about like hearing about his lover's death, and he says, "Well, just take your supplies. We have enough, and fucking take Emerald too." And I think Boriev looks at them and says, "You're not welcome here anymore." And I think like he looks at you, Anthracite. You were always a poison. I knew this, and I think like looking, I think probably addressing Emerald. It's just like that the kind of like seeing that there's probably something going on between you, and like and there's like looks at you and says, take it, and never come back. If I see you again, I'll kill you. And I think probably like if you that like what if you let, I think Emerald like tries to like get away from your grip, Azur. Do you let?
Oh, I think no. I don't want to give Azur cause to shoot them, right?
Oh, if she like if she starts to struggle and get cranky, I just clock her with the butt of the pistol.
Okay, they were trying to like just to like get out. Obviously, like pretty emotionally upset by what just happened, and trying to like get out of the place because they're uncomfortable being there.
They want to leave?
Yeah, like out of the tent.
Yeah, cool. I mean, like if she turns to go, I'll, I've got an arm on her, a hand on her arm, and I'll just walk out. I'll walk out with her with the gun on her.
The camera like focuses on Anthracite's face. How does their face look?
I want to resist all of that.
Okay.
If that's all right.
Sure.
And because it kind of interferes with what you're doing, Jim. So tell me if this is all right. As you're moving towards it, like, right, they want to run away. You want to, I mean, like you're going to stay with them. I want to, it's almost like a leap. It's like a big step, like me interceding myself and like holding a hand out to you, like I've got this, to follow them outside and to basically have a private moment with them after that, and let you two handle the rest of the business end.
Okay, so if you step up to get in my face while I'm with the prisoner, like I say, "Sir, she's my responsibility unless Val tells me unless the captain tells me otherwise." I say, referring to Val.
Yeah. I think Val is like,
that's fine. The situation has done it, right? And I can't. They are leaving, or they want to leave, and I want to intercede. And I'm willing to spend stress here. Like I'm putting a resist roll on the line to get my way here.
Yeah.
Is that fine with you, other players?
Yeah. I mean, I think Val is like, oh, go for it. They're Legionnaire now.
Okay.
Cool. Roll to resist.
Yep. It gets resolve.
Yep. Yep. Cool. So I think you catch up with them like outside the tent.
Okay, so just pardon me, just for a sec, because I'm not sure I entirely understand interface between the rules and the fiction there, and what just happened.
Mm-hmm.
So the consequence was that basically that they would leave, but that you would stay with them. And I want to resist that whole thing by interceding. It's fine. I've got them. And,
Okay, yeah.
And
All right.
and that's when you said you said, oh wait, it's my prisoner, my responsibility. And Val and probably Anthracite looked pleadingly at Val, and she went, well, Emerald is the Legionnaire now, so no prisoner anymore.
Oh, okay, that's right. Okay, so
Right?
that's the she's a Legionnaire now
Yeah.
that you were saying, Joel.
Yeah.
That's what that was. Okay, cool. All right. Then yeah, then I, so then yeah, let go of her arm and let you take her out, and
And I think you get like this like super grateful look from Anthracite at the both of you before they're like duck.
And you get a very dubious look back.
Yeah. Is that maybe when you also notice like they've got like their left arm wrapped in these weird bandages? They've not been treating it as a injury, and you can't remember seeing them injured.
I don't think so. I mean, unless you really want that to happen right now, I don't know why it would register.
That's up to
Could
you.
they be
Maybe
Anthracite?
maybe
or
it's just for the
Emerald?
camera, maybe just for the audience.
Cool. I think so. For mission wise, I think this is over. But if you want, I think this is a time where if you want to have a scene with them outside the tent, that's definitely on the table.
I would almost want to save that for the future as a potential flashback when we need to know what happened between those two.
Cool. Sure. That's cool. Cool. That's the mission then. You came back with some roots and supply. And then there is a secondary mission. Do you get Render's head or do you not?
I think it's the armor suit, right? Because his body like disintegrated.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think is kind of cooler because it'd be
Sure.
like the right size for Kingfisher to wear. Because Render's the only other 8-foot tall dude.
Agreed.
Or Blighter could get it and stuff whatever she wants in there.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. And that's the Ghost Owls with the Kingfisher and Aurora. All Swan is one die. We didn't have intel to spend. Not everyone is soldier specialist. I don't think there's distrust for the leadership here. Specialists are met. Then it's an assault. Did the quartermaster equip the soldiers with Blackshot? Didn't see you there. Yeah.
Yes, you
Yeah.
can have Black Shot.
Okay.
Marked off.
No one's wounded, so it's 2 dice. 2 dice. These rolls tonight, please. Okay. So either fail or succeed, and two squad members die.
What was the fail?
1 pressure, I think, right?
Yeah.
Is that it? A pressure?
Yep. And you already get another pressure from the other mission that you automatically
Yep. So give me just a sec to do that.
Well, yeah, I can still let 2 people die here, right?
If we're in good enough shape to lose rookies instead of pressure, I think that's.
We'd lose a rookie and a soldier.
Oh. Losing a soldier kind of sucks.
Yeah. I'm leaning towards that though. I don't. It's almost more fictionally. I don't want them to have like. I want to have that armor. Like it's still risky to have that evil armor with us in the Legion, but it's more interesting fictionally, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah. Goodbye to that's Amber Flowing Smoke. I don't think we've even seen her on screen.
No.
We have. I played Amber.
Oh no.
That was when we had the people up in the tower, and
Oh no.
Adakar saw the kid, and they had that little tender moment. I was playing Amber.
I liked Amber.
Yeah.
Oh well.
So it's a sad death, I think.
Yeah.
Art.
Well, something's gotta give.
Guess so.
Okay. But mission succeeded.
Yep.
Okay, so let's do the rewards for the missions, and then XP. Cool. So that gives you for the Western Citadel, you get +2 morale, and you did lose 2 morale from the 2 deaths. So you're back at 10, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And then +1 intel.
Oh, yay.
And then for the supply mission, you get the way out, the asset, the map, basically. So you can get out in advance if you want next time. And then +1 supply. So for any viewers watching, to get out of Fort Callisto, you need to find a route out, and that's what we got on this mission, because we found the smuggler's route and the map of it, so that people can also get out of Fort Callisto, both civilians and the Legion. So we might advance next time.
Oh yeah, we are out of here for sure.
Cool.
Hitting the road.
That's the rewards for the missions. Do you want to run us through XP, Marshall?
Yeah. Yeah. Does someone else want to start, or shall I go first? Azure, do you want to speak?
Yeah, I'll go ahead. Sure. What do we got here? We got. Pardon me. Just a sec. All right. Every time you take a desperate action, mark XP in that action's attribute. We did not roll any desperate rolls at all. At the end of each mission, mark 1 XP if you survived the mission. I did. If you helped your squad through courage or determination, I feel like she was determined and courageous, and like keeping track of the prisoners and stuff like that. That was all. Like I feel like she kept her head about her pretty well. So, 2 there. If you brought into play your heritage or trauma, where we talked about, like, I mentioned the birdsong thing, and she was, in that, and I also like well, you killed their chieftain. You're the chieftain now, right? That's like, yeah, no, it doesn't work that way. That's not, yeah. It's like this is not a wolf pack. That's, yeah. So, all right, so 2 there. So that's a total of 4, and then per highest threat of opponent faced.
3.
So total of 7. All right.
Mm-hmm. Who's going next?
I can go?
Yep.
Yep.
So I rolled 1 desperate action and marked that already. And then I survived the mission, helped my squad through might or fortitude, I mean, at the time I was helping. Turned out to be a little sticky later, but I think it was technically helping by smashing.
Agree.
Brought into play my heritage or trauma. I think in general, like I talked about being Zemyabi.
Yeah, also about being a raider.
Yeah, and about being a raider and like, I think just like going off on the bandit was kind of a bold move as well, which is one of my traits.
Mm-hmm.
And then highest threat of opponent faced was 3.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm also at 7.
Nice. You can spread them around however you like.
Yeah, I gotta take a look.
Cool. So with Anthracite, I didn't get to roll any desperate actions.
You tried.
Yeah, and I do have Daredevil. I would have gotten a bonus die if I got there, but that's fine. I survived the mission. This is 1 XP. You helped your squad through stealth or foresight. So I would have if I hadn't rolled so badly, right?
No.
Well, but you resisted the effects of that ambush.
That is true. That was foresight.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, we got like we weren't hosed because you did that. I mean, you traumatized out because you blew the resist roll, but you did resist it.
Yeah, that is true. I think it's fair enough. There was enough foresighted work here. Also, I helped with the negotiation in that way there. If you brought into play your heritage or trauma, well, yeah, heritage. We saw a lot of history about Anthracite today.
I like Anthracite.
Yeah, and I think I also brought into play the trauma during the mission that I accrued in the mission.
Yeah.
So that's 4. And highest threat was
3.
3. So it's also 7.
I'm thinking possibly Anthracite as the one of the best candidates for like a spin-off series. It's like the Anthracite doing badass things and romancing.
Yeah, we want to see that side story of how they dated the Horned One.
Yeah.
And what
Black Widow.
Yeah, it seems like this romance triangle going on with Chosen and this Emerald.
Definitely, yeah.
Cool. I think I'll actually. I think I want to do, if we all have time to do like the small blanket camp scene before we go. Do it in the actual. We almost never do this. This is how you're supposed to be able to do it. And I think it's like you come back, and I think probably already. I think it's gone like a couple of days, and I think probably you see there's less civilians about as they mostly left the fort. Soldiers still fighting, and I think probably that the commanders had like this conversation with Jonakas that they have to the Legion has to leave soon because they can't hold much longer, and we haven't seen like we haven't seen the Horned One for all the time since the fight with Render, I think. and I think we probably see someone putting like the big armor of Render into one of these like carts or whatever that you're taking out with stuff. Maybe a Kingfisher like eyeing it a little bit, and then
A wounded Kingfisher, we have to say. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and then, yeah, that's good actually. How can you see that the Kingfisher is wounded?
Oh, I think their shield arm is just busted up, and it's in a sling.
I think actually maybe I'm gonna say who's gonna be in the scene is Kingfisher and Anthracite at least. That's two characters I want in the scene. Is there anyone else who's wounded who might be in like in the back of the supply train?
Yeah, Aurora was also on that mission, so she got beat up too, making that happen.
Yeah, maybe Aurora as well then.
She has like a
Cadre's
head
also
bandage or something.
The cadre's also still messed up, so he might be back there in the doctor tent.
Yeah, well, those are like your options for who you want to play, and you can have the last one be somewhere else. Is there any like preferences?
I just want to note it. He doesn't have to be in the scene actively, but I think Emilio, we see Emilio being like fidgeting around, making sure like the armor is well covered, and so we see him like maybe in the background, worrying and fidgeting around with that stuff.
Mm-hmm. I guess who wants to play Kingfisher?
I'll do that.
Nice. Then we'll see. Do you wanna? Do you want to play Aurora then, Joel?
Yep, you're right.
Cool. So I think the reason, like I think maybe actually you see like the Legion is starting to moving, and the reason that you're back here is just because they keep the injured in the back or whatever with the mercies. The mercies are like packing up their stuff or whatever, and I think like suddenly you see the Hornborn there, like in their human form, like the short, like pretty small statured. Girl, like not girl, I guess more girl looking. I guess she looks pretty young, with the antlers, and her face is pretty like, I guess, like almost like round a little bit, which makes her look younger than, well, she's not young at all, right? So. But maybe like looks maybe like 15, 16, but probably is 70, 80, I guess.
I picture her as such an ElfQuest character. You guys familiar with the ElfQuest comic book? Like I just feel like she's like someone right out of that book.
Yeah, that seems pretty well with my how I imagine her, and you see her like holding to like to like her lower ribs. And yes, we have a.
It's okay. It's okay. You don't have to call it out on mic. That's fine.
Okay, so I think you see like her holding her like chest and like looking to the three of you, and just like how do you react with her suddenly being here?
Anthracite doesn't pretends she's not like doesn't pay special heed to her being there.
I think Aurora probably tries to do something like deferential. What was the harm that she took?
I wrote that she's got a bandaged head now.
Okay, so she can
so maybe impeded vision on one side or something like that.
Yeah, but she is able to like sit up a little bit and
it's only level 2 harm. So you can.
I just mean like if it was like that she bruised her ribs or something, maybe she couldn't get up. But yeah, she can like she sits up a little bit and like tries to salute. Maybe in the slightly wrong direction because her depth perception is not great right now.
And what about the Kingfisher?
Kingfisher scowls at her and like takes a couple steps towards her and kind of crosses his arms, and he has this stern look on his face, and he says, "You shouldn't mourn him. He died as soon as the Cinder King took him, and there was no way you were ever going to get him back."
I like wide-eyed stare at the Kingfisher. Oh. Not getting it at first. What are you even saying? And then like, oh.
I think
and if we, yeah, and if there's any kind of pause, if she doesn't say anything or do anything, I say, and if we meet any of the others, we're going to do exactly the same thing. You need to know that.
She takes her hand like off her chest, and you see like the kind of like a piece of her like shirt is like open, even though like I mean I guess she was a bear when it happened, but I guess like that's how the shapeshifting works, and you see like this cut there, and you see it like completely like festered yellow, almost like yellow in a radiate way, like it's almost lighting. That's how bad it looks. And she says, well, it was I was supposed to kill him. That's what I'm mourning.
Who cares? He's dead. He's gone. He's not a threat anymore.
I think Anthracite puts out like a hand on the Kingfisher's like massive bicep, right? Just to be like, it's not no real resistance, right? When it's the
and I think Aurora like looked perturbed the first time, but now that Kingfisher's continuing to be sassy, I think maybe she's more used to how things like used to be in the Legion, and she's like, "How dare you talk to her that way?"
And I like hold
she
up.
She can feel how she wants.
I hold up 2 fingers like this, and I lean in, and I say to her, "You are part of the Legion now, and we fight together." The Ponce was able to take that shot because you wore him down, because he was worrying about you. You killed him just as much as that bullet did.
She like looks up at you with this like non-understanding stare, and like says, well, if I'm part of the Legion, do you have a medic?
And as soon as she says, "I'm part of the Legion," the Kingfisher like uncrosses his arms, and he says, "We don't just have medics. We don't just have medics. We have magic. Come on, let's get that looked at. And like gently places a hand on her shoulder to like turn her around and walk her towards the medical tent.
I think. I think that she looks at you as you like stand by the opening of the medical tent, and she says, "You're right. You know, it doesn't matter. It's just that he thought that he could." Make me his lapdog, and I just wanted to show him.
Well, he didn't see that bullet. The last thing he saw was you.
You see like a slight like smirk.
And I grin a little bit, just corner of my mouth goes up to match it. And I say, I'll be out. I'll be right here if you need anything. And you know, and there are probably like benches outside the tent there for like if your friends go in to get work done, you can sit out there and like, you know, wait or something like that. But it's just like, you know, simple plain wooden bench. And you know, and the Kingfisher just kind of, you know, plops his bulk down on that bench. It probably bends a little in the middle as he sits down, you know, and he just like, you know, pulls out one of his, probably, you know, like kind of slings the sword off his back, you know, pulls a whetstone out, drops a little oil on it, and just kind of shings, just sitting there while she's in there getting work done.
Cool. I think that's seen. Nice. That was today's sessions, folks. That was another good session. I liked. We got to get in some character time today as well, so it was nice. We're gonna do like a small round to get our plugs in and stuff. I am Mikael. This is my channel. I am starting a new campaign after this. I'll announce what game it is soon. Also, if you're interested in maybe playing more with me, I have a Discord community where you can maybe also even get on stream for the next game if you want. Still open space there possibly. You can DM me if you want info about that. Yeah, that's what I have to plug. You wanna go next, Matthias?
Yeah, hi, I'm Matthias. You can find me on Twitter at mthsblgr. And you can find my little ending limited campaigns of Popeye Apocalypse or Fortune in the Dark games on itch.io. Just search for Sense of an Ending. Yeah, and tonight was a lot of really good highlights, small little scenes. It was really good. Really enjoyed that.
You want to go next, Joel?
Sure. I'm Joel Van Dyne at Dyne Joel on Twitter. I have a tier 1 DM's Guild adventure called A Place to Call Home. I think I'm getting within sight of a silver medal, so if you want to help with that, that would be cool. I think I mentioned earlier, but I'll say again, if you buy that and have any questions about how to run it or anything like that, find me on Twitter and ask. Yeah, that's about it.
Also, I bought it now, and I want to play it on stream maybe. So maybe also you can catch it on here sometime, and you can see how it works, possibly.
Possibly.
Cool. You want to go next, Jim?
Yeah, I'm Jim Crocker. I like games. My handle on Twitter is Jim Likes Games, and I have a website, jimlikesgames.com, where I've got a little web store set up to buy games of the kind that I sell at conventions all up and down the East Coast and the Midwest on behalf of my friends at Indie Press Revolution and Goodman Games. You can see I've got a whole bunch of them behind me here. I'm actually in my office that I work out of, where I send mail order stuff out and prep for cons and all that kind of thing. I don't do a ton of game design, but I do have, there's currently a Kickstarter for the game Trophy that is happening right now, and I've written one of the adventures for that. So if you're curious, if you want to have a adventure in a terrible moss-infested bog of a forest that will almost certainly lead to your ruination, that is the place to go looking for. That is the Trophy Kickstarter that's happening right now. Yeah, this was such a great session. I love it when we can have a little insight into what's going on out in other parts of the world. And I kind of like that the bandits are like, nope, we're out of here. Everybody knows what's going on. It's not like, we're encountering people that are like blissfully unaware of, what's happening or anything like that. It's an impending crisis that everyone is aware of, and how that impacts our ability to kind of move through the countryside. We saw that today, and I really love that. So looking forward to next week.
Yeah. That'll be all. See you next time. Thanks for following us along, chat. It's been great to hang out with you. See ya.